Hello everyone, my name is Saran Haldar and I'm an applications engineer for Hawkridge Systems, and in this video we'll be looking at one of the newest features in SOLIDWORKS Electrical 2015, that is dynamic connectors. So until the 2015 release, if you had to show a scheme symbol for a large connector, for example a 24-pin connector, and at any given point during the scheme you only intend to use 6 out of those 24 pins. There was no easy or convenient way to represent that. However, with the 2015 release, this process has been streamlined a lot through the dynamic connector tool. And this tool is available in the schematic tab as a new button called the insert connector. So let's go ahead and click on that, which allows us to either create a new connector or to work with an existing connector. In this case, we'll create a new connector. And this takes us into the familiar manufacturer part library. The manufacturer that I'm going to use today is Phoenix Contact, and the reference that I'll be using is 17717. And this narrows down my search to 4 results, out of which I'll be selecting the third one. Now keep in mind that the pin that I selected is actually a 24-pin connector. So let's go ahead and select that, and this should take us into a dynamic connector insertion window on our left hand side. Now before I drop in any symbol, I'm going to point out that there are 3 different symbol styles available. Out of these, for now, I'm going to be using the dynamic connector with pin symbol. Basically it'll be creating a connector symbol with a symbol for its individual pins as well. Now because it is a dynamic connector, I'm allowed to create a symbol with only the pins that are being utilized. So for example, if I for now only want to use 6 out of the 24 pins, I can go here and unselect all the pins and then select the ones that I want. So in this case I want pin number 1 to 6. And this gives me a nice looking connector with only 6 pins that are being used for now. Let's say for the next step I would like to use pin number 7 to 10. Now because this is a dynamic connector, SOLIDWORKS Electrical continues to create symbols with the remaining unused pins. So for the next connectors with the next 4 pins, I'm going to go ahead and unselect again all the unused pins and select the ones that I need to use. So 7 to 10. And this gives me again a nice 4-pin connector. And these 2 connectors are essentially a representation of the same connector, same 24-pin connector, except in the first connector I'm using the first 6 pins, and in the second connector I'm using the next 4 pins. So that's pretty much it for one style. Let's go ahead and insert a connector again. And this time, instead of inserting a new connector, I'll modify the one that I just added. Except this time I'll be using a different symbol style. I'll be using the dynamic connector without the pin symbol, and I'll be using all the remaining pins. And when I go to put that symbol in, you'll realize that it basically puts in the symbol of the connector without any symbol for any of the pins. So that's pretty much the difference between the 2 symbol styles. And finally, for the last symbol style, I'll be inserting a new connector. And the manufacturer for this one is going to be Mer Electronic. And there's only one connector that we have under Mer Electronic, but before I add it, I'd like to point out the number of pins we have. It's 5, but not all pins have the same circuits. Actually, 4 of them are auxiliary male pins, while the second one is a black box type circuit. So let's go ahead and add that. And instead of the symbol that we have here, I'm going to go ahead and select a different style, which will be 1 symbol per pin. So instead of using a symbol for a connector, it's only going to drop in a symbol for each of the individual pins based on their circuit types. So let me go ahead and flip the orientation a bit, and then I'll just go ahead and click here. And this gives me a symbol for each of the 5 pins depending on their circuit types, and that essentially represents my entire connector, my entire 5-pin connector. So that's pretty much what I had to show for today's video. I'm going to go ahead and recap what I just did. So first of all, I introduced the dynamic connector tool, and I showed you how to add a new connector as well as modify an existing connector. On top of that, I showed you the 3 different symbol styles that are available. Having said that, that's pretty much it for my video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this and have learned something. We have plenty of other videos in our YouTube channel, so feel free to check them out. And until then, have an awesome day, and thank you for watching again. Goodbye.